Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and I work with a lot of individuals with attachment wounds. Today, I wanted to go over a topic specifically about avoidant individuals and some of the aspects that they need in a relationship in order for them to feel loved by their partner. Okay. And I want to bring up that a lot of individuals who are avoidantly attached, specifically dismissive avoidant, but also fearful avoidant, their understanding of love is it's actually very limited. And I don't mean that in an offensive way. But what I mean is because they don't open up to a lot of individuals, their understanding of how love works and how it operates is actually based on a very external perspective. So they may think love is a very specific way, almost fairy tale-like. And it's because they use that as a way to not have to navigate the real love. It's a defense mechanism where they basically have to pretend like love is a very unattainable way so that they never have to commit to anybody. So how do we break through those barriers in a healthy way? We're not trying to manipulate, and we want to help all individuals, right? So the avoidant also needs to be working and making differences as well. I'm not saying you as a partner are the only person that's going to be changing, right? We want both of you guys to work together to make this relationship work. But we're going to work on it from one piece to another. And this particular aspect, we're looking at how can we look at the barriers of the avoidant individual? How can we break through some of those barriers, those abstract perspectives of love, and help them to actually feel loved by their partner? And if you're the avoidant individual, it's very important for you to communicate how you're feeling with your partner so that they can open up to you and you can open up to them, and that feeling can be reciprocated. If you remain closed off and you're expecting them to read your mind, no matter how hard they try, they're probably not going to get it right, because it's also, they need your input. So please share and open up. What do you need to feel loved? Give your partner the opportunity to love you. Let them in. It's not fair to them because they want to care for you and you're not letting them. So as an avoidant, please try your best. Share a little bit. Even share a little bit about your day, what's going on in your life, anything that bothers you. Open up a little bit so that they know and they can feel more connected to you, okay? So let's go ahead and jump right in. 5 aspects, perspectives, whatever you want to call it, things, variables that you can add to a relationship so that an avoidant individual, both fearful and dismissive, can feel loved by you. So the first one is validation. This one I feel can be expanded upon in multiple ways, but today we're just going to keep it a little bit short. And I will make longer videos as well. I'm making a variation. But what does validation mean to an avoidant? If they are doing something and they're changing and they're making effort, even if you think it's a little bit, validate their perspective of what they think is a lot. So this is different from acknowledgement, right? A lot of individuals who are in a relationship with an avoidant, they think, okay, I see a little bit, but it's not enough. That's their perspective. You also should validate your avoidant partner's perspective of what they think is a lot, because that's where they're coming from. Also validate maybe their need for space. Validate their perspective for what they think commitment should look like, even if it's not fully healthy, because remember, people change. But in order for them to feel more nurtured in the ability to change, they typically need to feel like who they are from the original standpoint is acceptable. If you can accept them for who they are right now, they'll be more willing to adjust and change, because they're not changing because they're not valuable. They're changing because they are, and now they just want to be a better version of themselves for you and for them and for the relationship. So validate their perspectives. Let's say an avoidant individual thinks, I don't think relationships or labels matter because I can love you no matter what. A label doesn't mean anything. There are tons of people who have labels and they cheat on their partner. I don't cheat on you, so why do I need a label? You don't need to be my girlfriend. You should know how I feel. Interesting perspective, but you know what? There's merit to it. I'm not saying that you have to stick around with somebody who's not willing to give you a label if that's what you want, but I am saying you can at least validate their perspective. they're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to be honest with you. And by validating them, they might be more open and willing to adjust. If you say, I think that makes sense. I understand. I like labels because it makes me feel like we're valuable to one another, right? It makes me feel important. But I do get what you're saying, and you're not wrong about that. I never thought about it like that. That makes sense. That's actually helpful for me to understand where you're coming from so that at least I know I don't have to take it personally, right? And that will help you. Just validate each other, actually. Both of you guys should be validating each other, not just one, both of you guys. So I hope that makes sense, and it's important for that, right? The next one is appreciation. It's very important to appreciate your partner. And appreciation can be a little bit challenging for some individuals because sometimes you're afraid. I think anxious individuals have this more. You're afraid to appreciate your partner because you're afraid, am I just accepting breadcrumbs? Am I just a doormat? Am I just accepting little tidbits here and there? And then my partner will never give me more. If I appreciate so less, maybe they'll never give me any more than what they're giving me. That's a common fear. And it's usually subconscious. If you think about it, a lot of people don't know that's why they're afraid to appreciate somebody. But it actually doesn't work that way all the time. By appreciating your partner actually feels more motivated to connect with you, and they feel loved. I appreciate that no matter what, you always hold the door open for me. I appreciate no matter what, you always cook me dinner. I appreciate that you're here for me. I know we've been through a lot, and I know it's been a lot. I appreciate that you're still trying to make this relationship work because I'm happy and I know you're happy as well. Because when you say, I know you're happy as well, you're reassuring them, right? Because they want to know that, that you know that they are a good partner. So by saying that, you can reassure them, right? I appreciate that you're always here for me. Everybody's different. And I know sometimes I can complain a little bit about how you're not as forthcoming with affection as I'd want you to be, but I still appreciate that you're listening. I still appreciate that you're trying, and I'm happy that you're part of my life. Whatever version of that, but just showing some appreciation can really go a long way with an avoidant individual. It means so much to them because a lot of times from their own childhood, truthfully, their parents were not necessarily appreciative of them. Typically, their parents were pretty critical of them. And so that's actually why avoidant individuals are very sensitive to criticism. They're very familiar with it. Criticism is just they don't take it well. It hurts a lot to know that your parents didn't like you for who you were, that you had to shut down your emotions just to receive some praise, which is why they ended up the way that they are, typically, not all the time. So appreciation it'll be like a magnet. You will be magnetic to them. Because they love that. They need that. And everybody deserves to be appreciated. That's what I think. What do you think? The next one is acknowledgement. Like I had mentioned, it's a little different from validation. Acknowledgement means I acknowledge where you're coming from. I acknowledge that you're here. I acknowledge that you're a lawyer and you know the laws about, our county. I acknowledge that. I don't want to argue with that. Or I know that you have a lot of understanding, so I'm hearing you. I acknowledge that you're smart. I acknowledge that you always text me good morning. I acknowledge that you call me every night. I acknowledge that you're still here for me, even though we've been through a lot. I acknowledge that you're changing for me. I acknowledge that you're making effort. Right? I acknowledge that you care about me. I acknowledge that you give me compliments. I acknowledge that you've changed. Whatever version. Tell your partner it's a form of appreciation, but it's also just acknowledging them for who they are. I acknowledge that you care about your health. I love that about you. Acknowledge who they are because avoidants want to feel like they're recognized. A lot of times they feel like they're not enough, and who they are is not enough for anybody. So their strategy is, okay, if I'm not enough for anybody, I'm just going to cut people off. Like, I'm just going to be by myself. I don't matter. But if you acknowledge them, they feel like, oh, wow, you care about me. I never thought anybody would like that. I want to nurture this more. I want to nurture this. I feel loved. I'm happy, right? That's very important. The fourth one I think is really important, and it's a little tricky. Throughout my videos, I make versions of how to do this, and I'll continue to. But it's reassure them on their fears. Really, really important, okay? Let me give an example. A lot of avoidants do not like being manipulated. And sometimes what you say, anybody, it can come across manipulative if you're really looking, even though you're not being manipulative, okay? So it's very important to know that they're afraid of being manipulated so you can reassure them. Similarly, let's say you are afraid of abandonment. And so when they say, I'm going to be in a meeting really late, but don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. I just don't have my phone on me. But when I get home, we can talk about our day. They're reassuring your fears. I'm not ignoring you. I'll be home soon and we'll talk. No problem. I'm always here for you. Some sort of reassurance, right? Similarly, they have fears as well. When I'm asking you about your day, I'm not doing it to get something out of you or turn this into an argument. I just want to connect with you. I promise, right? Or when I ask you, what are you thinking about? I'm not saying because I'm trying to pick a fight. I'm just checking on you. If you're really not thinking about anything, I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure you're okay. I'm not trying to twist this into a fight. I'm not trying to tell you you're wrong. I'm just asking, okay? Reassure them, wherever it may be, whatever. And you know your partner, you know where their triggers are. Reassure them and recognize, this is a place that I can make them feel like I'm trustworthy and I'm here for them. I can take care of them. Just like I want them to take care of me, right? That will make them feel very, very loved. It's really important because they don't always get that feeling. So I want you guys to really think about that, okay? And the fifth one is respect. If an avoidant says, I don't want to talk about that right now. Okay, respect them. You can also say, I'd like to talk about it because you guys want to meet in the middle, but you still should respect, okay, how about we talk for 5 more minutes? Is that okay? Or is it really that bad that we need to take a break right now? Respect. Treat them right, like they are a person that you love, right? If you're telling them, oh, you're always a problem, you're always avoiding conversations, do you think that they feel respected? I don't think that feels respectful, right? They told you how they feel and you just shot it down and told them they're wrong. I'm not saying you did that. I'm talking about an example. Respect what they're saying. I see this a lot. I'm going to give an example, but I see this a lot. It's really unfortunate. I'm going to give an example using food, which I think is silly, but it comes up a lot. Again, I work with a lot of long-term couples, so a lot of them are living together or married. Let's say an avoidant individual says, I don't like meatballs for dinner, right? Their partner takes it offensively and thinks, okay, this is more common with anxious preoccupied, by the way. Not all of anxious preoccupied are like this. I'm just giving an example. The anxious preoccupied takes it as, okay, but you'll like my meatballs, so let me try and change your mind. Or they take it offensively. You don't like meatballs, but that makes me upset because I want you to like them because I like to cook meatballs. It sounds like a really weird example. So let's say they don't like meatballs, but for dinner you still make them meatballs, even though they told you they don't like it. They take that as disrespect, whereas you're trying to take it as, oh, just try it. You'll like mine. Try my version of meatballs. They take it as disrespect because it's like, you didn't listen to me. I told you I don't like meatballs. Or if they say, I don't want a second plate of food, but you give them a second plate anyways. No, have a second. Because you're taking it as, if they eat your food, they like it. And you take it as disrespect. They take it as disrespect, because they're saying, I set a boundary and you're crossing it. That's very frustrating. So respect things they say. That doesn't mean be, a doormat. I'm not saying that, but just try and listen to the things that they're saying. Because sometimes a lot of individuals don't realize avoidants don't communicate much at all to anybody. So the fact that they're telling you even a little bit, appreciate that and respect that. And understand this works both ways. Avoidant individuals, you have to respect your partner as well. If your partner is having a little bit of trouble regulating their emotions and they can't take a break from this argument right now, how about you go ahead and sit through the argument or disagreement for like 10 more minutes just to help them out because you love them and you want to figure it out. It's a team effort. Relationships work best, I feel, if you work together. So let me know your thoughts. Please subscribe, like. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.